First up, the Office of King County Executive. The County Executive manages the delivery of such regional services as criminal justice, metro transit, and wastewater treatment. In 2020, the voters of King County amended the charter so that the sheriff became an appointed position. Beginning in 2022, the sheriff will be appointed by the executive and confirmed by the county council. The executive also directs the local services provided to those in the unincorporated areas outside of cities. This is a nonpartisan position and is elected for a 4-year term. All voters in King County can vote for county executive.
When COVID arrived here, the first place in the country impacted by this deadly virus, I took swift, decisive action. We led with science and reason and saved thousands of lives and reduced our infection rate to among the lowest in the nation. The New York Times reported that had the rest of America followed our lead, the nation could have avoided more than 300,000 deaths. As we emerge from the pandemic, I'm bringing that same clarity and resolve to the toughest challenges and uniting our region for an economic recovery where everyone can thrive. We're taking bold action on homelessness, moving thousands off the streets and into housing with services to restore lives. And through my Best Starts for Kids initiative, we've kept 10,000 children and families safely housed. This housing crisis, made worse by the pandemic, requires both compassion and the proven ability to drive real change. We're improving public safety and public trust by investing in gun violence prevention and aid to victims of domestic violence and other crimes, and collaborating with communities to create real safety. I've asked community leaders to work with me as we appoint a new sheriff who is accountable to me, the council, and the people. We're helping kids stay in school, graduate, and avoid the criminal legal system, and I've succeeded in driving down the youth detention rate nearly tenfold. And I'm taking urgent action on climate, leading the fight for regional light rail and converting Metro to an all-electric fleet. And there's more exciting progress to come. I'm grateful for the endorsements of Governors Inslee, Gregoire, and Locke, over 40 Democratic legislators, the MLK Labor Council, healthcare workers, firefighters, building trades, the Washington Conservation Voters, and the Alliance for Gun Responsibility. My commitment to public service was instilled in me by my parents, retired public school teachers. Today, Shirley and I are raising our daughter in the same West Seattle neighborhood where I grew up. Let's keep working together to help all King County families thrive. Thank you.
After 12 years of current leadership failing to solve our biggest problems like homelessness, it's time for change. And as we recover from this pandemic, we need an executive who understands how hard-working families in King County have struggled to make ends meet, even before this crisis. I'm the son of refugees from White Center and worked as a janitor at my own high school. And despite great adversity, I built a successful career in the private sector, and now I represent my community in the state Senate. We can build a brighter future for every family in King County. We can build a community where everyone has a safe place to call home. Every senior can age in place with dignity, and every parent can provide for their kids. We can achieve all of this if we had an executive who will act with the urgency needed to actually solve problems. For years, the communities I grew up in haven't gotten the same investments to support working people that made my success possible. And as a result, residents of South King County got sick and died from COVID-19 at twice the rates of those in other parts of the county. Those deaths were preventable if the county had prioritized every community's safety. The pandemic wasn't the first crisis where our current leadership neglected working families who've been pushed out of their neighborhoods. The status quo has given us 12 years of unaffordable housing, longer commutes, inaction on climate change, and worsening gun violence in our communities. We need bold solutions implemented with transparency and accountability. And I have the private and public sector experience to get things done. Let's get to work.